I am Seblan Lomas. I'm an associate at Architects in Hereford.
Hi, my name is Matthew Lindars. I graduated last year from the University of Birmingham.
Okay, so my name is Elamine, and I am a civil engineer, and I'm currently doing a PhD at the University of Cambridge.
Hi, my name is Numan, and I am a civil engineer who's graduated from the University of Birmingham.
Hi, my name is Ciara Wong. I'm a student at the University of Nottingham, and I just graduated. And my role in this team competition is an architect.
Hello, yes, my name's Ros Thorpe. I'm the Director of Education and Standards at the Chartered Institute of Building.
Hi, I'm Gia. I'm from Edinburgh, Nepean. I just freshly graduated from Environmental Sustainability Master's degree.
I am Stuart Clark. I am the technical representative for Retrofit here in the UK, in the Southwest.
I'm James Newby. I'm the President and Chief Executive here at NMITE.
Matt Hayes. I'm a director at Arbor Architects and also an architect and a passive house designer.
I'm Julia Bennett. I'm a passive house designer and retrofit architect. I am a trustee for the Association of Environment Conscious Building and a director of a sustainable construction training organisation called the Green Register.
My name's Beth Williams and I'm a structural engineer and certified passive house designer.
Okay, so my name is Lina Kadur. I'm assistant professor in Edinburgh Napier University in construction management and sustainable built environment. I'm program leader for MSc Environmental Sustainability in School of Computing, Engineering and Built Environment.
So I'm Dan Green. I studied at London Metropolitan University and did a degree in architecture, part one.
I've been following the TDUK challenge for a number of years. I was one of the presenters on a previous topic around embodied carbon and sequestered carbon a couple of years ago. And with the awards just down the road from our offices, it's a perfect opportunity.
So one of my friends did the challenge last year with his friends from school, and he told me about it, and it sounded great, so I got involved.
I actually heard about it from friends. So I have friends who we all do civil engineering. And so when we were all in university during undergrad, one of them just brought up this challenge because he was at Bristol and there's quite a lot of people doing it there.
I heard about the challenge from a friend, a fellow engineer. He suggested the project to me and said it would be an interesting challenge for us. The brief was quite interesting, so I thought best to give it a try.
I heard about it through my teacher. He was promoting this challenge as he said that it can open our eyes to timber construction as a rising construction system. So that was really exciting.
Well, at the Chartered Institute of Building, we accredit universities across the world, and through our links with universities, obviously we collaborate and like to engage with students and graduates.
Actually, it was in the first TED course, which was the challenge was introduced by Tabitha, so I was interested and applied for it.
So Retrofit sponsor the Room S1 here, and I was told to come down and represent the company and support some of the students with their projects.
Well, we're hosting the awards today, so obviously I've been aware of the whole project, and we also ran it last year and hosted it last year, so we couldn't miss out again on the important opportunity this year.
So I first heard about it via Tab and Ben at NMITE and then the wider partners.
I've been in touch and trying to work with Tabitha Binding and Timber Development UK for quite a while, and AECB, Association of Environment Conscious Building, is a partner for this challenge, and I was so pleased to be invited to be on the judging panel.
I met Tabitha Binding doing my passive house designer training actually here in Hereford. So yeah, we've kept in touch since then, and I've been involved in the TDUK challenge for the past few years now doing teaching. Yeah.
Well, there is a ongoing collaboration between Edinburgh Napier University and NMITE, and there is some of our students on the program of MSc Environmental Sustainability participating in the challenge.
So I actually heard about it through what was TRADA originally, which I think is now TDUK. So I'd signed up to them several years ago, get the emails through, and yeah, it came through there.
I think collaborative working online, because it's the only project that I've done that's been fully online until today, meeting half of my team in person.
I think definitely from my experience, because I had no background in any of like costing and quantity surveying, and just learning the nitty-gritty details of what's the process like for sourcing materials, or when it comes to understanding like how do we actually go about costing a structure. I think just learning all the details about that, and yeah, just something that I've just never experienced through university, so it's completely new to me.
Probably about the versatility of timber. I guess we're in a time now where there's loads of engineered timber products out there, and their applications are nearly endless. It's a really interesting material to use, and it has great sustainability and environmental properties, which make it a great material.
Well, like first coming here, I didn't really know anything about timber construction, as my unit often teaches concrete and steel frames, and so coming here, I just I didn't really know anything. And after joining this competition, I felt like I really learned more about like the properties of timber, the embodied carbon that it produces, and how it benefits our environment in a sense that it grows more than it consumes. So that's really interesting.
From this challenge, actually, it was the first thing which was quite interesting to me, and it was like kind of my interesting point. Like it was the PHPP and the passive house standards and the software, which was I found it a bit challenging, but at the end it was like very interesting to learn all about how the building energy, how the insulations, how like building physics acts and everything. So.
Lots of different things. I mean, I think obviously been working a lot with timber on this project, so the kind of flexibility of timber, how it can be used in different forms as well, so whether that's in structure or in the finishing. But then there's also been a lot of learning around kind of team working with people that had never met before, and working with people from different disciplines as well, so structural engineers and environmental engineers as well.
I've been very impressed by the general level of quality of work from all of the students. It's fantastic to see them really getting to grips with the numerical side of things. So using PHPP to actually drive data-driven decision making, which was great to see. And also a good use of life cycle assessment, understanding what sequestered carbon is. And that's really positive to see. And also the relationship between spans and then the availability of materials, and the fact that if you're going to use big spans, that means you then can't use smaller section sizes, and the implications that has with embodied carbon.
I've been very, very impressed with the calibre of the work students and graduates have put forward. I've really enjoyed listening to their presentations. I'm impressed by their knowledge, their technical knowledge on areas such as sustainability and all sorts of other areas, but also their soft skills. This really has shown how good they are with their soft skills.
I've been bowled over by the kind of level of detail that people have gone into, not only kind of looking into the kind of overall energy demands and then working into a kind of passive house PHPP, but then also down to the kind of foundation, and then how can we make that work, then how can we design out concrete and use timber piles, and lots of like the kind of the move from this holistic vision all the way into the kind of detail has just been amazing.
It's been fantastic. It's great to see the future of architects, engineers and designers putting forth projects, ideas and innovations for building in CLT buildings, looking at timber and different innovations, innovative ways to design in timber.
It's been an amazing day. I mean, the number of people that have submitted entries and have turned up today to present and share the learning and the multidisciplinary way of working with us has just been fantastic.
So today it's been great to see so many students from so many different backgrounds coming and showing their enthusiasm for building low energy and low carbon and retrofit as well.
Oh, today's been completely inspiring. I mean, we've got students from across the country. They've all come to our small corner of England here in Hereford, and they've presented their projects back to a very scary panel of judges, a large audience, and I think they've done an absolutely fantastic job. Completely inspiring.
Well, it was amazing. It's very nice to see everything coming together. Students are excited, keen, and it's excellent interactive learning environment that will benefit them in a fabulous way, in terms of the work experience, in terms of future innovative building material, and it's all about net zero energy supply chain management sort of thing, which is sustainable timber is very important when we are talking from this end and about climate change. So there's plenty of aspects that they are now aware of and seeing things and touching things with their own hands. It's really not only interactive, but also learning from up-to-date knowledge and from experienced people in this area. It's a great experience for them, and project-based learning is also amazing experience for them. I could see that in their eyes, so they were very excited.
I think the versatility of timber, all of the different design approaches you can go with, and the payback time. So I hadn't really thought of timber as being used past one building's construction. A lot of the different teams today have said that it could be deconstructed and then reconstructed in other buildings, which I'd only really thought of as steel. So making it more of a comparison to steel in that regard.
I think in a very fundamental way, when I was thinking about timber, you kind of just think of one type of material, and you might just consider a very old structure. Whereas timber now, you learn there's much more complexity between not just what type of wood you're using, but also how it's orientated. So it could be a CLT or a glulam or sawn timber, and learning about all the details that go in behind the connections and how we're designing and different design choices. This is probably one of the biggest lessons I got through this challenge.
I guess my initial sort of preconception of timber meant that I thought it was quite a weak material, very fireproof, wouldn't withstand weather, only used for sort of garden sheds. But having learned a bit more about timber and how versatile of a material it is, you can use it for a wide range of applications, and as a material, it certainly holds up.
I feel like back then I kind of neglected timber as a potential construction system. And now that we've learned more about the benefits of using timber, I think it's definitely opened up my eyes more. And in school, we worked on this school in Africa, and we used completely timber frames. And I think it was also because of this competition that helped inform that decision.
That's a tricky one actually, but the timber itself is more complicated than, as you can see. Timber is a different world for itself. And actually, I was quite before this challenge. I was quite timber gonna rot, or it might gonna burn, or something like that. It's easy to catch fire, but then no, it's just normal building material. If you say a building with a timber will catch fire, so as the building with concrete. So I don't see any point of not using timber as a main building construction material.
I think it's definitely something I'd think about more as a material you'd go to first. I think traditionally in this country, I think architecture is a lot of brick, and then in new builds, a lot of concrete and steel. So you don't necessarily think of timber as your first option, but I think that's pretty definitely changed. There's all sorts you can do with it and create some brilliant buildings as a result.
I think it's amazing to see what the students in this year have been able to achieve compared to the average student that goes into work. And as an employer, if one of the students from today came to us, I think we'd find it much more appealing to be able to employ them based on their level of scrutiny and understanding of what we know we need to be doing in all of our project work.
I do think things like this, when you go above and beyond what's on your curriculum, and try to get involved in initiatives and things. That's going to really help you. It's going to look good on your CV because it shows your dedication. It's going to help you hone your skills, your presentation skills, your soft skills, your communication, Q&A skills, and also your technical knowledge, because it's going to make you try to apply your learning in a real life scenario. So I think this sort of thing is invaluable.
I think that this would be a real opportunity for people who want to design and build in timber going forwards, looking at sustainable ways to build, and it gives them the experience to go out into the real world and actually pitch, design and utilise this skill set that they've achieved through this project.
I think the students that have done this will get an enormous amount of experience from it and benefit from it. I mean, they've had to work in multidisciplinary teams. That's something they don't do often enough, especially in traditional universities. They've had to work with industry professionals. They've had to actually deliver a really clear outcome as well. So they're not this is not just a theoretical exercise. They've worked with real constraints in a real world setting, and they've had to deliver something, and then they've had to have it scrutinised and tested in public. Not entirely comfortable, but they've done fantastically well.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. I think probably the standout is the way that people have been able to work together from different disciplines and grappled sustainable design, low kind of energy design from an architectural point of view, then into kind of how it can help a community, all the way through to procurement and quantity surveying. And that kind of being able to work as a team and bring something together and sell it to a whole room and an audience is really great. And it is what will kind of set you apart if you can bring that idea and sell kind of low energy sustainable design to people who might not know it.
I think it's very clear that coming out of an academic or studio-based education for lots of the different disciplines involved in these teams, going forward to try and get work, having something like this, which is an integrated, developed case study in effect, shows potential employers just the depth of knowledge, the ability to round out, because retrofit is so challenging in terms of all of the things you have to know. So I think being able to showcase that they've been through that process and have worked with others in a multidisciplinary way is going to be very interesting to employers.
I think this experience is great for students because it shows that they are actively interested in low carbon. As an employer, I see a lot of students coming saying that they're interested in doing low energy and low carbon buildings, but having something to back that up in terms of actively having put some time into that it shows the actual enthusiasm.
Yeah, definitely it's a valuable experience for them because it prepares them for the workplace and put them in touch with experienced people in this area. So it's important for their future career, and it's important to stimulate their idea and thinking about net zero energy, about climate change, about sustainable building material. So it's very good for their future career, yeah, definitely.
I think meeting a more diverse set of people than I previously had through engineering. And what have I least enjoyed? It's been potentially quite hard, I think, depending on the workload and external pressures that you have to find the time to do the competition. But if you do, I think it's really rewarding.
I think the thing I most enjoyed was definitely being able to do this process in an interdisciplinary environment. As throughout my university experience, I never really had a chance to work with architects, especially at my undergraduate university. There isn't even an architecture department. So this is really the only chance I got to interact with architects and people from other disciplines. So I found that like a really valuable experience. The thing I probably didn't like the most is probably the intense deadlines and how it's on top of all the other work I'm doing. But that's just an additive experience, and it's helping me also not just in my time management, but also it's just additive learning to what I'm already getting through my other learning opportunities.
Experience I've enjoyed the most is probably working on a really interesting brief. The Retrofit challenge provided a really interesting challenge for us in terms of creating a design that already incorporated an existing building. The thing that I found most challenging was, again, working with such a restricted brief. When you're starting from scratch, it's sort of easy to, let your ideas flow. But when you have so many constraints in place, it's a bit more challenging.
What I enjoyed most was definitely the team bonding. I feel like this competition has allowed me to meet new people, and it's taught me more social skills on how to be a good team member, as well as communication skills, so how to communicate effectively across a team, especially when you don't know anyone. So I think it's taught me a lot more than just timber.
Well, I should say I enjoyed all of them, all of the challenge, but the one thing that I enjoyed a lot was like the weekly meetings with my team. So kind of all updated each other regularly and stuff. So and then that was the most interesting part for me.
I think most enjoyed, I'd say probably getting to know the team and working with the team, and like genuinely it's been a really good team. I think I've been fortunate. Yeah, you don't know who you're going to end up with, but everyone's been brilliant. So getting to know the team has been great. Least enjoyed, it's been a challenge, no doubt. I mean, there was quite a lot of work involved, and especially as you get closer to the deadline, like university as well, it gets the pressure ramps up. But we got over the line, and so it's ultimately been a great experience and a good achievement.
That's a really hard question. What's impressed me most from the students today? Oh yeah, okay. So one of the teams was asked how are they able to coordinate their solutions so well, and they said that they had all worked together last year on a competition, and therefore they knew each other's individual strengths. They knew how to apportion responsibility and accountability, and they knew how to coordinate themselves well. And I thought that was really heartening as a kind of very, very responsible and mature attitude to taking on a challenge, and something I think we'd all like to see more in normal project work in real life.
Well, their dedication, I would say, they're giving up their free time, working together with people they've perhaps not met before and don't know, making that work as a group, making that coherent project team, interdisciplinary working for free, and doing that, giving up your own time for the benefit of your profession, to improve yourself and improve your profession. So I think they're very inspiring indeed.
The most impressive thing is the level of detail that the projects have got into, in terms of looking at energy efficiency, looking at reusable materials, looking at innovative ways in which they are able to build, looking at the designs of the building itself, and being able to really take that to the next level in terms of their imagination and experience from degrees going forwards, really.
I think that what's most impressed me is just the imagination I've seen in some of the solutions that they've proposed for the project. I think I always expected they'd come up with some very good technical results, and that this would be a very good technical exercise. But the thing where the magic really happens is in the imagination that they show, and each of the teams has shown a different degree of imagination, but it's that imagination that sets them apart. That's really impressed me.
So I suppose the obvious one is the amount of work, like to take the kind of brief and turn it into a design that tackles the existing building. It requires such a huge amount of work, which has really been great. Dealing with an existing building is always tricky. How to work with the structure, and then how to really kind of sell it from a kind of conservation point of view, and really kind of respect its existing use, but then kind of bring it forward into into the kind of modern day, is probably the biggest thing. And then just the sheer amount of work that has to go into getting that design, and then all the way through the energy modelling and embodied carbon calculations, and working out where that can come from, how you can source your insulation locally, and all of those ideas have been really great.
Well, certainly the commitment that they've had to put in whilst they've either been studying or working, and having to do this as an additional thing that's not part of their main priorities and responsibilities. A lot of them are working and have young families as well. And they've been working online together, most of them. They're teams of people from different locations in the UK and abroad. So I think the fact that they've managed to work together in that context and to get so much out of it, the detail that they've gone to in exploring the technical issues, creating really good concepts, it really has been an impressive day. Very, very inspiring.
I think their teamwork, it was fascinating, the way it was organized, the way they were collaborating, dividing the task, the way they were excited, and this competitive sort of not only teamwork, competitive leadership, it's all interpersonal skills that is as important as the knowledge base they learned today.
I'm always impressed on this project by how much energy the students put into their submissions alongside either their final years at university or their first year of work, and that they care enough to be able to put the work in and produce these amazing, fully thought out buildings alongside their other work.
Yeah, brilliant. It's a nice way just to kind of finish it off, I guess. There's a lot of work went into it from myself, but also everyone else in the team. So I guess to be kind of vindicated in that way is really nice, and for our design to be appreciated. And I think one of the comments was that it felt it could be built as well. It is quite nice, and I think it's given us all some confidence to take forward as well.